It is the best way for them to go now, especially now that the feed is so expensive, so costly that they can't even afford it. It's an alternative feed to all livestock farmers. I do harvest 2 tons of maggots in my farm every month. I have clients, I have feed producers, I have farmers, stock farmers. I'm selling maggots in tons too.
This is Becky Jacobs. She started her maggot farming journey during the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, and from then she has been able to raise her farm, and currently she earns approximately 1 million naira every month from maggot farming.
I decided to go into maggot farming. The reason, because the way the country is, especially.
Yeah.
I came into the farm in 2020.
Yeah.
I'm barely 4 years in the business. And we see our economy changing every day.
Okay.
Lack of job, lots of unemployment everywhere, and I needed to be more creative.
Okay.
Producing something for myself and for others, even creating employment. And so when I got the idea, I decided to go into it. This maggot is gotten from black soldier fly. As I earlier said, we have 21,000 types of flies, which the black soldier fly is among them. Now the black soldier fly is a decent fly, not associated with disease at all. And that is why the maggot is edible.
Okay.
You can give it to your livestock, and to human too is edible.
To livestock, now, what kind of livestock?
To the chicken, fish, rabbits, pigs, all livestock.
Rabbits too eat it?
Yes, they do.
Really?
Yes, rabbits eat it. And the maggot has about 50 to 53% crude protein. And we all know that the major constituent for livestock feed is protein. And so the maggot gives them the needed protein. Not just the protein, it has other nutrients that is very good for our livestock.
What's this place?
This place is called Insectarium.
Okay.
You can see call it the love net, because this is where you put the male and the female flies. And now with this way they are mating now, that is why it is otherwise called the love net.
Okay.
So either call it Insectarium or love net. And this is where the fly stays during their insect stage. Now here they lay eggs in the eggs, and then from here you harvest the eggs and incubate it. What you put it here is the pupa or the pre-pupa. Okay. So you can't exactly know the male and the female. Okay. And so when you put them in the insectarium, what they imagine, definitely you're going to get male and female out of those ones. And so when the male mates with the female, the funny thing is the male dies instantly after mating with the female. Really? Yeah. The male dies instantly? Instantly after mating with the female. Ah. Why? Yes, that is how they are. And the female too, it takes them about 24 hours or more to lay eggs, and as soon as they finish laying the eggs in them, they die too. They die. So the dead, like the dead flies, yes. Do they use it? It's still useful, yes. They still contain some protein, and so you can give the dead flies to your livestock. You have chicken, you have fish, you can give it to them. What's the difference between these maggots and the regular one we know? That is the housefly maggot. Yeah. Yes. This maggot has a 45 days life cycle. That is the black soldier fly itself. Now from egg to the neonate, it takes about 3 to 4 days, and then the maggot will take about 13 to 18 days, and to the whole cycle takes about 45 days. Now the maggot from the housefly has just a short life cycle, and you can easily breed this one because they have that long lifespan. It's edible. It's stronger, they live longer, and compared to the housefly now, and you know this one is disease free even when you are eating it. Yes, they destroy the bacteria, while the housefly store up the bacteria and is also good for consumption. When they decompose waste, yes, they decompose, and as such they don't store any bacteria in them. Instead, while decomposing, they destroy it, and that makes the maggot edible. The maggot grows in stages. We have about 4 instars. And now from the maggots, which is what you're having here now, at 13 to 18 days, they will metamorphose to this stage called pre-pupa. This is pre-pupa. Now, this is a stage in black soldier fly life cycle. At this stage, they're no longer whitish in color. They now metamorphose to this pre-pupa, and you see them is either brown or black in this color. Now, this is another stage. And finally, they will now metamorphose. They will remain at this pre-pupa stage for 7 days. Now after which they will metamorphose to pupae, which is the last stage before emerging to flies. This is pupae. At this stage, they will emerge to the adult fly. And so we have the eggs to the larvae or 5DOL, then to larvae, to the pre-pupae, and then to pupae, and then to flies.
So what does the maggot eat? What do they feed on?
Yes, they feed on organic waste.
Okay.
Organic waste, like in my farm, I use brewery waste.
Okay.
You can use other waste like kitchen waste, bread waste, any organic waste they can feed on.
Who are your target markets?
The farmers, livestock farmers mostly, and the feed producers.
Feed producers?
Yes, livestock feed producers. Yes, they buy from me. Like I do when I get my maggots. Those ones for the feed producers, you dry them and you grind them to a powder form and give it to them.
Wow. The feed producers use maggot to formulate their
Yes, and that is because, as I said before now, that protein is the major constituent in livestock feed. So maggot contains about 53% crude protein, and it is a perfect match for any livestock feed.
What's the major challenges when it comes to maggot farming?
Okay. Yes, I choose to do this insect farming because the mortality rate in it is very, very minimal.
Okay.
Now, if not that prices of things are really gone up, you can start maggot farming with as low as 50,000 naira. So there's not much challenge except getting sourcing the substrate. Like if you're using brewery waste, getting the brewery waste, getting any organic waste to feed them. Sometimes you can feed them with even the poultry waste, but it has to be the fresh poultry waste. But in my farm, because I give them the best, the waste I'm using to feed my maggots is purely brewery waste.
So someone can start maggot farming with 50,000 naira?
Yes. Then when I started mine, I did not even start up to that. My capital wasn't up to 50,000 as at 4 years back. But because of high cost of things now, to start maggot farming with maybe one insectarium, few eggs and some larvarium, I think 80 to 100,000 can set you up.
When you say insectarium, you mean this?
Having this, yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is the insectarium now. You may choose to start with just one insectarium or two. So with that budget of 100,000, you can easily start maggot farming.
This insect inside there, do they bite?
They don't. They are harmless. They're not harmful at all. They don't bite. Black switcher fly are very friendly. They're harmless.
So they don't bite at all?
They don't bite at all.
Okay. You made mention of you eat this insect, like even human beings can consume it.
Yes, I do. It's edible.
Okay. Can you show us?
Yes, I can.
So what's the importance of eating this?
Yes, it contains protein. And you know, all of us need protein.
Yeah.
Yes, so the maggot is edible. I know most of us, like, when you hear about maggot, like, oh, God forbid, I can't touch it. No, it's irritating.
But I'm going to taste it.
Fine, it's good. I eat it too. Look at it. You can even use it to do snacks and eat. But like me, when I finish oven drying mine, I take some.
Wow. So guys, I'm also going to be tasting it.
It's fine. This is dry maggot.
It's kind of like roasted.
Yes, it's oven dried and it's very fine. It's proteinous.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a very decent thing to snack on. As we sell per kg, like presently, because of high cost of the organic waste where we are getting them. Before now, we used to sell a kg of live larvae for about 500, 400, between 400 and 500 naira. But presently, the live larvae goes for 700 naira.
Okay.
And the dried larvae goes for 2,000 naira per kg because you use about 4 kg of live larvae to get a kg of dried larvae.
So this dried one, who do you sell it to?
Yes, we sell yes, farmers use it like you know, it flows on on top of water, like if using it for fish. You throw it and it flows, and then when it's flowed now, the fish will take it. Like feed producers too will grind it and use it as protein source to their feed.
Is maggot farming profitable?
Very, very profitable. I will encourage any youth, those that are unemployed, to go into the business. It is very, very. You don't have anything to lose because the mortality rate in maggot farming is very minimal. And it is something you can start even without buying the startup packs.
Yeah. If
you go to piggery, you go to poultry farms, you can scavenge pre-pupae. And then use that to start. That is, if you don't have money to buy the starter pack, but you have the money to buy the starter pack, you can buy 2 or 3 kg of the pre-pupae and then start up your farm.
Okay, like so they sell the kg of the live ones you can use to start up.
Yes,
and
sure.
they'll be reproducing for you.
Sure. Every starter pack you can get it from
So
either
how do you make them reproduce? How do you make them give birth or lay eggs?
It's
so
all
that
about following the steps.
Okay.
Is the business is a recycling business. Like when you have your starter pack and you start, you begin to see your maggots or prepare and you storing them. So if you want to sell, you make sure you don't sell everything.
Yeah.
You keep some so that you continue to recycle and then keep perpetuating your colony.
Black soldier fly. Do you know how many you have? Can you give a number to it?
Do you mean the number of the flies I have?
Yeah.
They're uncountable now. You can't count them, but I can see that. I can tell you that my farm is presently, the colony is filled up. It's perpetuated with black soldier fly. Sometimes whenever you keep any organic waste, you come back in a week or two and you begin to see maggot everywhere. So I have such a large farm and I'm running a capacity of 2 tons in a month.
2 tons?
Yes, in my farm, I can harvest 2 tons of maggots in a month. It's all about recycling.
Okay.
Now, when you get the eggs from the BSF, you incubate the eggs for about 3 to 4 days. You have the baby maggots. And now you start feeding the maggots.
Okay.
Yes, you feed them with organic waste. Yes, you feed them with organic waste for some days, like 13 to 18 days.
So like in how many days does it take you to get a fully mature one?
10 days.
10 days?
Sure.
The whole recycled stuff is 10 days?
For maggots.
Just 10 days?
Yes. From eggs to having a matured maggot, which you can either sell as or give it to your livestock. It's 10 days. 10 to 12 days is okay.
The whole cycle?
Yes.
10 to 12
what
days.
you have in here,
yeah,
from eggs to this maturity stage,
yeah,
is about 10 to 11 days.
Wow.
And this is the best stage to give to livestock. You give them you feed it to your livestock at larvae stage, because here they have all the nutrients, the protein, the lysine, the amino acid. They have all the nutrients complete here. And now in the pre-pupa stage, they don't have, because they've used the nutrients in them to build up their skin. And what they have in that pupa stage is chitin. So this is the best stage to feed it to your livestock. The maggot stage is the best stage to feed it to your livestock. And you feed the maggot too at this stage because they have digestive system.
Yeah.
And now when they grow, when they metamorphose to the pre-pupa stage, they no longer eat because they do not have digestive system.
Okay.
So the larvae stage is the best stage to feed it to your livestock.
Is maggot farming time consuming? Do you need to observe them, or like maybe for someone who is working that does not have time, maybe goes out in the morning, comes back in the evening, can that person still go into maggot farming?
No.
Or do you really need to observe them?
Yes, you need to give attention to it. That is
okay.
It needs attention because every stage needs to be monitored and worked on. Yeah. Like you put in your flies, you want them to give you eggs. As soon as it gives eggs now, you have to harvest the eggs between 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
That takes time. Like someone that is working might not be able to do that, leaving the stock to come and harvest. Now you harvest it and incubate it. It takes about 3 to 4 days for the eggs to hatched. And so at that stage now, you still need to monitor it. Yeah. And then put it in your nursery, then start from the 5 DOL, you begin to feed it.
I notice your own cages are on the floor like this. Your own housing is on the floor. Is there any other method one can do apart from this method? Yes,
this is larvarium. These are my larvarium.
Okay.
Now larvarium is where you are keeping where your maggot stays during their maggot stage now. Yeah. This is larvarium. I didn't start with this.
Okay.
I started with some containers, plastic containers. When I started small. So because I have lots of clients buying from me, I see the need of expanding my farm. And seeing that those containers like using this kind of container might not give me the 1 ton I need in a month.
Okay.
So I have to decide to go on this biopond.
So you can rear them inside containers like this?
Yes.
Guys, you can see this. Like these are live maggots. You can see this. These are like live maggots. They are still moving. You guys can see. Wow. These are mature enough to go for sales.
Yes, this set now, they are pre-pupa. Okay. No longer beneficial for livestock.
Okay.
Now these are larvae or maggots. It's larvae or maggots. This stage is what is beneficial to the livestock, whether fish, chicken, pigs or whichever. And now this is pre-prepare.
Okay.
So this one, there's no protein in it. What they have here is chitin. So if you give this to your livestock, they will eat it, but they won't benefit. But this is the maggot. Here you have all the nutrients complete, which can be given to your livestock.
Okay, so for someone who wants to start up right now, maggot farming, what's that one thing that person needs to know before starting on maggot farming?
And that is why the person needs to be instructed.
Okay.
Needs to learn. You don't just go into maggot farming because you start to make a lot of mistakes.
Okay.
And so you need to learn, get a good mentor that can train you very well on it.
Yeah.
We have so many audio farmers, BSF farmers, copy and paste farmers. So make sure you get the right person to give you the right mentorship and you're good to go.
So are you advising livestock farmers to start feeding their animals with maggot?
It is the best way for them to go now, especially now that the feed is so expensive, so costly that they can't even afford it. It's an alternative feed to all livestock farmers. Now, if you use maggot to feed your livestock, you stand to reduce the cost of feed in your farm by 70%. 1,000 kg makes it a ton.
Oh.
Yes.
So you can make that in...
I have 2 tons. I do harvest 2 tons of maggots in my farm every month. I have clients, I have feed producers, I have big farmers, feed producers. I have farmers, top farmers. I'm selling maggots in tons too. Yes, in Port Harcourt, I have the Cascom farm in Woji. I have the Daisy farm in Umwebele. So they buy in tons every month, and they're really happy using maggot to feed their livestock.
Are you the only maggot farmer in Port Harcourt?
Not really. In Port Harcourt alone, I've trained over 100 persons in Port Harcourt. I've trained in Bayelsa, in Delta State, Lokoja, nationwide. I have a lot of students who are doing very well, happily using maggots for their livestock.
And it seems the return of investment is very fast.
Very, very fast. Very fast. So I will advise everybody, the farmers, the unemployed, to key into maggot farming. That is it. It's just what we need now.
What is that one thing that will guarantee one's success in maggot farming?
Yes, for you to be a successful maggot farmer or a maggot breeder, you need determination, passion, patience, and humility.
Okay.
So with that, you are good to go.
Are there any kind of medications you give to them?
Not really. Just like me, I make sure I feed, since the maggot is equally given to livestock, which are edible by human. So I make sure I feed my larvae with decent organic waste. Okay. Like in my farm, I use brewery waste. Sometimes I use pap chaff and then palm fruit sludge. That's what I use. And I make sure I don't just keep them anyhow. I keep them neat. Since what I'm using to feed will equally in turn be given to livestock, which will be consumed by human. So I make sure my farm is very neat. I don't just see it as maggot, feeding it with any rubbish I see. I make sure I give them good feed. And their feed too has to be balanced. I give them balanced diet, that their feed is not just carbohydrates. It has to contain some protein and other nutrients. And so when you in turn give it to your livestock, it makes them grow faster and better. Some people will tell you that maggot feed on any organic waste, like they use even poultry waste too to feed maggots. Some do that, and to them it goes that way. But to me, it's good. You can feed them with the organic waste, but personally like to use those decent ones to feed. Okay. The choice is just yours. How you want to maintain your customers' livestock and how fast you want the livestock in turn to grow. All you need is a good mentor. The mentor that can always be there for, like my mentor, the maggot millionaire is my mentor. And so I got enough, and he really took good care of me while he was training me. And so I equally impart such to others. You don't need that long time to learn. Just make sure you have the right mentor that will be there for you, guiding you at all times.
So are you open for investment?
Sure. Before now, we are even having investors. Okay. Yes, I do have investors, and they have their ROI when due. So I'm open for investment.
Do you do farm trainings?
Sure, I do. I do live trainings in my farm. I do online training. But my online training is quite perfect, and it's different from other ones you may have online. Okay. Because I take my time to train you. The same thing I'll give you in my farm is the same thing I'll give you online.
If you are interested in more stories like this, do well to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we have more of this kind of videos coming up. Share this video to your friends, like the video, and also turn on the notification bell so that when we post any other video like this, you'll get notified by YouTube. Thank you for watching. Do have a nice day. Until next time, as I always say, peace.